Oh, just grinding the chair into the chest, into the arms of Joe. Oh, Janelle has to pop the barbed wire out of his forearm. And now Moxley headed up to the top. I think he's thinking foot stomps. No.
What's up, everybody? Cruz the Crusher coming at you live from fucking Hollywood. And in parts unknown. Wait, I think he's in parts unknown. Are you in parts unknown?
I'm in a log cabin somewhere deep in the heart of New Hampshire.
Oh.
So I would say parts unknown. I would say that.
Now we know it's parts unknown in New Hampshire, Vance.
Oh, shit. Should I not have said New Hampshire?
Do I need to bleep this? Do I need to redact? Do I need
millions.
to Vance? Do I need to redact that in our
It's
edited
all those
portion of this podcast?
Tumblr girl fans.
Oh my god!
Oh boy!
Stop it,
I don't think
Vance.
anyone would find me up here. Yeah,
Vance.
That's me.
Right.
That's me.
Did you watch AEW's Fyter Fest?
No, I didn't watch it. Why was that?
Seriously?
Cause you fucking kidding me? John Moxley's first match for AEW. Nah, I think I'm gonna skip that to go hang out with my family. What are you, crazy?
A little bit. Listen, let's. I want to dive right into this. We talked last week. We talked about our predictions for Fyter Fest.
We did.
And in the news, we discussed a bunch of other stuff, which we'll get into in a little bit. But let's just dive right in. You said John Moxley's name, and I want to let's go backwards on this. Let's start with the main event.
You mean
Fyter Fest,
the unsanctioned match? So technically not the main event because it technically wasn't an AEW sanctioned match. So technically it was an unsanctioned match. You
know what? I stand corrected because you are correct, sir. Thank you for
Let me just say something. I just got to say something because Joey Janela headlined a fucking pay-per-view against Dean Ambrose. What the fuck? Like, this is crazy times. It's almost like dogs and cats are living together and fucking Vince McMahon is stepping back and Dusty Rhodes' son started a promotion. Like, who would have thunk? And the leader of this whole thing is the guy who owns the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, if you went in a time machine and told someone from, like, I don't know, 3 years ago that this was going to happen. Like, hey, in 3 years, Joey Janela is going to fight Dean Ambrose on the second pay-per-view ever by a company that could possibly compete with the WWE. You'd be like, you're fucking crazy. Get back in your time machine, you weirdo.
It's fucking for real, dude. Seriously, though. I mean, they fucking kick things off, Vance, okay? With a goddamn barbed wire steel chair, Vance.
Yep. And that was real barbed wire. Did you see the bloody rags on it and shit?
Dude, that was what I was just about to mention. How, like,
the poor fucking intern had to wrap that thing in barbed wire.
Fucking Moxley goes underneath the
ring,
pulls out this chair, and there's like these fucking handkerchiefs or towels or whatever, and they're bloody.
Actually, Cruz, those are called shop rags. They're blue.
You would know this, Vance.
Cleaning up grease or blood.
Cleaning up grease or blood. You can use them in the kitchen to clean your pots and pans, or you can use it to medically aid somebody.
Yep, exactly. See, now you get it, Cruz. So yeah, he reaches under the ring. He pulls out a barbed wire chair.
Dude.
Did you see the picture of Moxley that he put on his Twitter?
Oh, you mean the aftermath that he posted?
Yeah.
Like the
Where it looks like he went through the Passion of the Christ.
Oh, God. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, Vance. I mean, we already started, barbed wire chair, sure. But there was thumbtacks involved and like
that thumbtack spot with the fucking shoes. I don't like feet, okay? I'm not a foot guy. I'm not like a Quentin Tarantino guy, okay? So to see feet on TV, it was kind of a man's feet on TV. And listen, I'm completely comfortable with seeing men on TV. I don't know where this is going, but yeah, that thumbtack in the bare foot. I had to look away. I was looking at my sleeping girlfriend who somehow fucking slept through this whole fucking event.
That's wild. Because that was a wild fucking match, dude. So
it was wild. It was a wild match.
Wild. I mean, they even had a barbed wired board. I forgot about that.
Drew, let me ask you something, because you're not really too familiar with death matches and shit, right?
I know a little bit, but not like so much. You know what I mean?
So your homework this week, Cruz, like I like to give you homework that you never do, is to go back and watch some of fucking Jon Moxley's CZW shit, the King of the Deathmatch shit. And the dude got fucking his head sliced open with a weed whacker once. He's fucking gone through barbed wire. He's gone through glass. He's gone through fucking light tubes. Like, he's a hardcore guy. But now he's a millionaire. Fucking millionaire. And he's like, nah, I need thumbtacks. So I love this guy. This guy is so passionate about the art of professional wrestling and honing his craft and challenging himself and pushing the boundaries and reinventing himself, that how could you not cheer for a guy like that?
True. It's true.
Like, that is professional wrestling in my eyes.
It's fucking wild, man.
My half glazed over eyes.
And of course, Moxley ends up winning. He ends up beating the bad boy.
Yes.
Janela. But then
Janela got some great spots in, though.
No, they had some really good fucking spots.
Like, that fucking elbow drop off the ladder was probably one of the best elbow drops I've seen.
You know what? That was probably like one of my favorite things that happened in that match.
Yeah. And for a tubby little fuck like Joey Janela to like actually pull off like real wrestling moves, I was very impressed.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. That's very, 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 very fucking true.
He's too doughy for WWE.
But that was like a perfect elbow drop too, wouldn't you say, man?
Dude, it was so good.
That was like such a perfect elbow drop. Like,
it was really good.
Like, holy fucking shit, dude. But yeah, but then after Moxley beat him, something happened at the end there, Vance.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed seeing the mean side of Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Because the whole Fyter Fest, I gotta be honest with you, the whole Fyter Fest, like Fire Fest thing, I thought it was a little fucking stupid. And I don't like Kenny Omega being a fucking klutz. You know what I mean? Like, he's running around giving baggage to people, fucking telling models to fuck off. It's like, all right, you're Kenny Omega, man. Like, you're the cleaner. You've had 7-star fucking matches at the Tokyo Dome. Why the fuck are you like, oh, Blink 182 won't be here tonight? So I feel like we got like a really good mean side of Kenny Omega, like Bullet Club fucking, like, I'm fucking over AJ Kenny Omega, which I like.
Yeah, that was
to go against Mox. You gotta be like that.
Yeah, no, you totally, because you don't want, like, Kenny Omega's great, right? Obviously, we know how much we love.
One of the best.
Well, I love fucking Kenny Omega. He's one of the best. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. And to see a different side of him like that, you're absolutely right in making that statement that, like, to go up against a guy like Moxley, you kind of have to, you know.
Yeah.
Especially because, like with what happened at Double or Nothing, and you're like, oh shit, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this. And then, of course, he's going to come out at the end of that match after thumbtacks and all sorts of. He's already bleeding. I think he even had thumbtacks still stuck to his body.
He beat him with a real guitar.
I know,
that wasn't a gimmick fucking electric guitar. That looked like a real heavy guitar.
Yeah, dude, and it wasn't a fucking wooden guitar, like an acoustic. It wasn't an acoustic guitar,
no,
that easily breaks. And
it wasn't
like,
a fucking Double J special.
They're like, "Fuck you, Elias. We're gonna use a fucking electric guitar for this fucking spot."
Because Moxie just wants to give it his all. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, dude.
He was in prison for all those years, and he's out now, and he's just
and that was the symbolism in that video, that little secret promo video that he had put out. When Dean Ambrose, who never tweeted in his entire life, comes back as Jon Moxley, and now he ends up on social media. Now, granted, he just most of his tweets are like retweets or just like very subtle. He only puts like random like pictures and shit up. Yeah, like it's very mysterious. You're like, what does this mean? Because does he really have to say anything? Do you really want to hear Moxley's fucking like what's he gonna write? Oh, here's a picture of my back. My back hurts. Just put a picture of your fucking. You look like he starred in Roots. Like it was crazy. His back was just beat to shit. It was great. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, man. I love it. I'm really looking forward. And I really so at the end of Double or Nothing, obviously he attacks Kenny Omega. And then Kenny Omega was just such a goofball for this whole Fyter Fest, coming out like fucking Akuma and all this shit. I know. It was have that snap straight up like fucking straight out of Street Fighter, bro. Well, I guess he had a full Akuma costume, but it got lost or something. Oh, so he had like the full kind of had a fucking. He kind of had to like Jimmy rig it, where I'm just gonna dye my hair pink and wear my fucking regular and have someone like spray or not spray, excuse me, spray the fucking what's it called on his back. You're Asian. Fuck off. Racist. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, stop it. I'm racist because I thought you were smarter. My bad. But yeah, God. He came out, and the Bucks came out as Ken and Ryu or Ryu, if you want to be an asshole about it. And they fought the Laredo Kid and Lucha Bros. Yep. I thought did you like this match? I enjoyed it. So have you listened to the fucking Jim Cornette thing yet? Okay, you know what's funny? I was about to do that before hopping onto the podcast today, but I had to get a workout in. And what I should have done... Oh, dude, you should be listening to Jim Cornette. I should have listened to it while I was working out. I don't know why I didn't think about doing that. Dude, he bags on the Bucks so bad. He's like, these two fucks show up. They don't look like they could beat up anybody. Like, what kind of fucking shape are you in? Jesus Christ. Making fun of me. He's like, and they're doing flippy Mexican shit. They ain't flippy Mexicans. Dude, you got to watch it. It's hilarious. Wow. Oh, but I thought this was great because honestly, you don't expect, especially Nick Jackson, because he has that little chub, they don't really have any real definition. They got those fucking weird balding. I mean, it's kind of dad bodish, They're kind of bodish. Yes, they're very dad bodish, but then he's fucking doing like Phoenix splashes to the floor and fucking swantons and all kinds of crazy ass shit. And it's just like, wow, this is insane. Maybe I could be a wrestler. And then the weed wears off and I'm like, no, I can't. And you're like, maybe not. So, I mean, okay. I don't want to run down the whole card, Cruz. No, I don't either. What was your match of the night? I mean, can I go with the unsanctioned one? I mean, okay. Unsanctioned one aside, I thought that. Oh man, I totally forgot about the Fatal 4-Way. Remember? How about let me just give a shout out to MJF because, dude, that fucking guy. I love this guy. Like, he's the best, dude. He's the fucking best. And him coming out for that Fatal 4-Way and like just fucking talking shit. Do you remember the shit that he was saying? Like, oh my God. Did you watch his press conference after? Yes, I did. Where he's like, yeah, you little fucking short guy. What do you have to say? What's your fucking? He called him a little guy. He's like, yeah, what's up, little guy? Like, and then he's like, then they're like, well, what do you still haven't gotten your revenge on Adam Page or whatever? And he's like, yeah, you're a little fucking asshole. Next question. I love this guy. He's such a prick. I love it. And then he's like, oh, my best friend got attacked. You may have heard of him, Cody Rhodes. Yeah, he's so fucking. Speaking of Cody Rhodes, how about the match between him and Darby Allin? Allin fucking coming out with that body bag. Darby's that body bag with fucking Cody's name on it. 1-1. Okay, Here's some controversial thing that I'd like to bring up, Vance, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Controversial thing.
So, the Darby versus Cody match, I believe it was a draw, wasn't it? Wasn't it a draw? It was a draw. Nobody won.
Yes, the time limit expired.
That's right. So,
which is a great way to set that up, by the way. That was great. This show was booked tremendously to set themselves up.
Oh, no. I do not disagree with you at all. I definitely agree with you on that one. But, Sean Spears comes out at the end of that match, right? And fucking hits Cody in the head with a fucking chair. Yes.
Unprotected chair shot, which we haven't seen since like fucking Rock hit Mankind.
Yeah, dude. So, like, this was an unprotected chair shot. Fucking, he hit him so hard that Cody just started bleeding in the back of his head.
Hit him so hard.
And I'm telling you, I rewound that spot so many fucking times to see if I could see.
I don't get it. Yeah. Where he cut his head?
I can't see it. I mean, am I the only,
so
what are your thoughts on this?
They said, okay, so here's the thing that kind of pissed me off. When they came out and they're like, we gimmicked the chair. And Tony Khan said, you can have a perfectly safe airplane, but if there's pilot error, there's pilot error. So it's like, I really didn't like the fact that they kind of, and Jim Cornette kind of agreed, where they exposed the business a little bit. It would have been better where it's like, Sean, what's his name? Sean fucking Spears?
Sean Spears, yeah.
Sean Spears went to business for himself, that was uncalled for. Maybe like fucking add a fake fine in there or something. I really think they could have taken it into a storyline direction to really build that feud, really make it a blood feud. No pun intended. But yeah, when he hit him, I mean, I was really surprised that Cody didn't put his hands up, because we haven't seen unprotected chair. Like, obviously with CTE and concussions and fucking brain damage and Chris Benoit. I don't know why he's in that, but yeah. Like, you don't do that shit anymore. Although, honestly, don't you kind of miss it? Don't you kind of miss getting them hitting the head? It's fucked up. But I think a chair shot to the back is so lame.
Chair shots to the back is lame, because it's like, I can take a chair shot to my back.
I know. I've hit you with a chair before, remember?
Yeah, I know. And it's like, it's nothing, right? I mean, you saw how much, you didn't even make me flinch, Vance. I was like, oh, okay, Vance, is that the best you got?
True.
Pussy.
I work out now, fucker. I'm going into business for myself. I'm going unprotected next time.
Get me in the head, you pussy.
Oh my god. Fuck it, A. But yeah, that was kind of but that was a great match, dude. Like, I gotta say, Cody, I'm not really a huge Cody as a wrestler fan. Like, but dude, his last two matches for the AEW matches he's had, one with his brother Dustin and the other with Darby Allin, he's coming out great in these. Fucking great.
You know what? That's true. That's very, very, very true. I'm gonna have to definitely agree with you on that statement for sure. Yeah. How did you feel about
great way to showcase Darby?
Yes.
To an audience that probably doesn't know him.
He was great. I liked him. Darby Allin? Yeah. How did you feel about the triple threat ladies match? Your girl won when we did our predictions.
Yeah, Rio.
Rio would win. I totally had okay. Don't hate me for this, but when we were doing our predictions, I totally got Riho confused with one of the other girls. So I didn't realize until I was watching Fyter Fest. I was like, oh wait, that one's Riho.
Wow, Cruz.
I like her. I love Riho, and Yuka Sakazaki is pretty good too, but goddamn.
I really enjoyed this match. I didn't think it was as good as the Double or Nothing match.
No, the Double or Nothing match when they had the six women tag, that one was like, that was pretty litty, man. That was
but I really like where they went with this. I really like the booking on this show. The only thing I fucking didn't like was the pre-show.
You know what? That's what I was see. We're kind of working backwards here. We started from the top, working our way to the bottom, and yep. I was not impressed with the pre-show at all.
The only thing I didn't like was that fucking Nakazawa fat fuck match. Like, I didn't understand the reasoning behind it. I didn't understand why it happened. There was no real story for me to follow, and it was a shitty hardcore match. It was just it reminded me of like a really shitty backyard, like there's no shitty backyard wrestling match, a backyard wrestling match.
Right.
Like, it was just really like,
I could see
And the
that.
thing is, like, that's your first thing you're going to show people on this, buy-in before the pay-per-view. You're going to show some fucking fat fuck who runs a video game company versus an Asian guy that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that he fucking runs a goddamn.
He runs CEO. He's the CEO of CEO.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna go with the unsanctioned match being my match of the night, dude.
Yeah.
What about you, Vance? What about you?
I mean, I really, really dug that the 6-man with the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid.
That was a good match too. That was a good match too.
I mean,
no, yeah.
Let me ask you, were you genuinely surprised? Like, we were shocked, obviously, with Moxley, but did you feel any sense of surprise during any point in that show?
Not really, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
Do you think it lived up to your hype?
I think so. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to be biased. I mean, this is a wrestling podcast.
We are unbiased.
I have to mention this because a lot of people, just like when I tweet or post something about AEW, like, when we first went to go see Double or Nothing, people automatically assume that I'm like on this bandwagon of like, oh, are you like a WWE hater now? I'm like, no, motherfucker, I have a wrestling podcast. I talk about everything on this fucking show.
Listen, we are sports entertainment journalists. And as a journalist, we need to be an unbiased opinion. But you know what? Here's the thing. We can be fanboys for wrestling as a whole. Doesn't matter the company.
Yeah, exactly. And plus we have some, we're about to jump in to WWE right now because, you mentioned in the news last week, Vance, that Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman were going to be taking over Raw and SmackDown.
And boy, did Paul Heyman fucking take over with a bang.
Let me tell you, literally a bang. Because when I watched Monday Night Raw, I was like, you know what? Let's see what happened. Fyter Fest was just over. Let's see what fucking Monday Night Raw has to bring. And I'm not making that statement to say that like, oh, they're like really going to step up their game. But the fact that they already announced Paul Heyman taking over Monday Night Raw, right?
Mm-hmm. And with Dave Meltzer confirming that like this is a legit backstage role. This is not a fucking on-screen general manager bullshit role.
Yeah, no, dude. And the Monday Night Raw, would you agree, Vance, that Monday Night Raw kind of just screamed Paul Heyman? The fucking crowd at one point even started chanting, "Thank you, Heyman."
Dude, but how different was that opening than a fucking traditional 20-minute Baron Corbin bullshit promo?
Or like management coming out to speak to the crowd, fucking bullshit.
Like, dude, instead, like
they brought pyro back, Vance. They brought a little bit of pyro back.
A little bit of pyro cruise. They blew up the entire backstage area.
Yeah. Let's talk about that real quick.
Corey Graves yells at, you know what? You're the better play-by-play person. You tell what happened.
Fucking Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, after the bullshit fucking let's do a tug of war match, and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? You know what I mean? They ended up opening Monday Night Raw with a falls count anywhere. Falls count anywhere, Vance.
Which they announced previously, saying that it would kick off Raw.
Yes. And God, Lord have mercy. Fucking the Strowman, he ended up like tackling Lashley onto the stage and then like speared him through that video. Where the
they
entrance
always go into that video board. They always go into that
there's a video board like right by the entrance or whatever. But as soon as he like fucking tackled him into there, oh my God, electricity and like not an explosion. It wasn't an explosion.
It wasn't. It was just multiple fireworks.
Like, I would have been scared fucking,
dude,
like, laying on the floor.
I watched this live, Cruz. I watched this live. And when Corey Graves, uncensored, yells, holy shit, as all this is going off, I looked at my girl and I'm like, yo, this wasn't supposed to happen. You don't say holy shit. They don't do pyro anymore. And then it clicked. It took me a little while. I'm a little slow on the uptake. I was like, this is fucking Heyman. This is Heyman. He's changing everything. I thought that they were destroying
his fingerprints all over it, Vance. Heyman's fingerprints all over
it. I literally thought that they were, because the next match, they went dark on the set. I was like, oh my God, they're going to kill the set. And he's going to have a new set next week. It's going to be so different. The Heyman era begins. Like, I was so fired up because when they showed that static shot of like a crane backstage for like what had to be 20 minutes. They showed that whole segment was about 20 minutes. So you don't think that people flip it and seeing, oh, I wonder what's on Raw, and they see that weird fucking shot they've never seen before of just carnage that people aren't going to stop?
Yeah.
Like that worked, because that's what this fucking show needed, was to be tilted completely on its head and completely in a direction that this audience has never seen before from that product. And that's why, because if you don't, like, this happened, I don't know, I think it was Rhino speared Jericho through the old SmackDown set. And it was the same kind of holy shit moment. Heyman used to book SmackDown. So it's like, this guy, he knows what works and he knows what doesn't work. For instance, this whole show, we only had Baron Corbin in that little part to push that match, and that was it. You didn't have a 20-minute promo from Baron Corbin. You didn't have a match from Baron Corbin. He came out with Lacey Evans, and that was it. In fact, the only thing I didn't like about this show, and I think I didn't like it because I don't think Heyman could really do anything with it. Like, if you're giving a pile of shit, it's hard to make it into anything but a pile of shit. So this winner takes all bullshit thing with Becky and Seth is like a little bitch now, saying that his girlfriend's possessive, and they keep calling them a couple.
I'm sorry, but it's getting so fucking tiring.
That was the worst segment on the show.
Like,
I would take Maria Kanellis yelling she's pregnant before that.
Yeah. Well, also, okay, like, I thought Monday Night Raw, like, this is what I missed, on Monday Night Raw, right? Like, this was probably one of the better shows that WWE has put out for Raw specifically in a very, very long time.
The best Raw in years.
No, the best Raw in years. And the only thing that I hated about that show was that little bit backstage with Charlie Caruso interviewing, the man and the man. And, I've said this before on the podcast, wrestlers aren't actors, right? So a lot of times when they're doing like segments, if you will,
lines, if you know, scripted lines.
Yeah, like scripted lines. You could tell
talk like that.
The acting's just fucking terrible. And at one point, Charlie says something to Seth about being impulsive. And he looks at Becky. Even the way he calls her Bex sounded forced to me. Like, does Seth Rollins really call Becky Lynch Bex, when they're at home or whatever? You know what I mean? So he looks at her and he goes, Bex, tell her I'm not impulsive. And Becky Lynch goes, psh, 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 psh. I'm like, what is this cheesy bullshit, dude? Like, that was probably the cheesiest part of the entire show. But overall, the show was fucking great. I mean, come on, man. Oh, your boys, Vance, made an appearance. What do you think this means?
Okay, so here's what I heard from my backstage sources. Again, thank you, Google. So the Street Profits are not fully called up, but I guess what they're going to do is, as a way to introduce the NXT people, to the general mainstream audience, roster audience, they're going to gradually work them in. And then the rumor is that they're going to have almost like a little battle between Bischoff and Heyman over who gets like certain NXT guys, which is a great way, because what better way to prove somebody's worth than to fight over them?
True. Because I was just curious, because I'm like, okay, they got the current NXT tag champions, and they showed them a couple times. Like, they did that one promo in the back.
Well, they showed them at first, like accidentally, it almost seemed, which was brilliant. Great way to say, like, oh, stay tuned. Street Profits are here.
You know what? You're right.
It almost looked like an accident.
Yeah, that's true. Because, I'm going to be honest with you, Vance, and we've talked about this on the podcast many times before, that, like the last couple of Raws and SmackDowns even, I kind of just let it play in the background now. I can't sit through Ross, but more so because it's 3 hours long, right? I'm going to watch Ross 3 fucking hours of wrestling. And, if it's good and entertaining, I can sit through 3 fucking hours of Monday Night Raw. But as of late, I've been just kind of playing it in the background while I get some shit done at the same time, right? Because it just wasn't enough to hold my attention. But this past Monday Night Raw had my fucking attention. Yeah. And that's a perfect example of what you just said right now, where they kind of accidentally, quote unquote, showed the Street Profits.
It was such a Heyman show.
His fingerprints were all over that shit, dude. Yep. All over that.
Dave Meltzer said that Heyman was right next to Vince in Gorilla Sitting harmoniously was the term he used.
Harmoniously. I
Harmoniously. Yeah.
I like it. But I mean, Heyman's the man.
He's
I
the best.
really loved how like people just started chanting because people that were, I mean, imagine being there live and seeing the difference. I've been to a couple of Monday Night Raws. You went to a couple of Monday Night Raws, Vance, this year. And it's like, I can only imagine being a fan who's been to a couple of live events, not pay-per-views, but like, just regular live events. And then seeing a difference. The fact that the people in the crowd started chanting, "Thank you, Heyman." They're like, "Oh shit, Monday Night Raw is back." Speaking of back, Vance, and more fucking pyro, the dead man himself fucking made another return to Monday Night Raw.
What a great promo. What a great promo. Exactly the way it should be done. Lights down, long theatrical entrance, talking about taking souls. Talking about Shane McMahon, how he had his respect and now he's lost it. And you know what? I think that this could be leading towards a Drew McIntyre Undertaker SummerSlam match, which I wouldn't mind seeing.
Ooh. The final thing that I want to mention that was also kind of exciting on Monday Night Raw, Vance, is the return of one of our favorite factions, Vance. Some people in Japan, know who I'm talking about.
The Nation of Domination.
And, I would you say that that little segment was, I don't know, too sweet, Vance?
You know what? Let me tell you something. That was the best way to end this Raw. And there was the best way to use that stupid no commercial breaks during wrestling bullshit.
Oh, I know.
No wrestling during commercial breaks. Because we thought AJ won. I didn't know the foot under the bottom rope. I thought it was the foot on the rope.
Me too. But you know what? Can I just interject for a second? Because my favorite part about that little bit backstage, because they were kind of, Gallows and Anderson were kind of like not so much playing them both, but really they were kind of playing them both. They for instance, they told Ricochet like, "Oh yeah, AJ Styles says he can kick your ass," and they go to AJ Styles and they're like, "Hey, Ricochet says he can beat your ass," and Anderson says, "I bet you, you know what? I'm gonna put my hot Asian wife. I am putting her on the line. She's on the line."
So crazy.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
That seems like a Vince Russo written thing than fucking Paul Heyman,
right? And as soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh, sorry, AJ. That means you're losing, bro."
Dude, I was fucking cracking up. But then, we've been talking about this for weeks, Cruz, about how AJ should go heel and start the club.
I absolutely. We've mentioned this many times in the podcast. I absolutely want to see AJ Styles go heel. But I mean,
because he can be such a good cocky asshole, and now you got your gang with you. You got the club will riot again. Graves loves doing it. The Shield will riot again. The club will riot again. Fucking, I'm gonna ride Carmella again. Like everything.
Oh my god.
But I gotta tell you, and by the way, how great is Michael Cole's like 9/11 voice, where he's just like, "Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes in sports entertainment, we do the best to protect." I almost thought it was a knock at the fucking AEW thing, where it's like, we did everything we could to protect them, but sometimes shit happens. Which is basically what AEW said about the fucking unprotected chair shot. They said it about two fucking Goliaths falling into an electrical power station backstage.
Yeah. Dude.
Did you hear Corey yelling, "Cut the power, cut the power"?
Yes. But you know what? You're totally right, because the way Michael Cole was speaking, he was speaking in a tone that was like, we like to keep our wrestlers safe here, at WWE, and la 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 la. And then you hear fucking Corey Graves yelling, "Cut the power! Why don't they cut the power already?"
And Renee's just standing there like, "My husband was just beat with a barbed wire fucking chair. What am I doing?"
Yeah, he just spit out a bunch of thumbtacks out of his mouth. I don't even know what the hell is happening.
My husband spit a thumbtack into.
Do you not remember that? He fucking spit thumbtacks.
Dude, I put it on my Instagram. I put it on my Instagram. I was
Fucking
so
amazing.
fascinated by a person spitting out a thumbtack because that's my worst fear. You ever thought about what it would feel like to have a thumbtack in your mouth and you accidentally let it puncture your tongue?
Okay, dude, I've had my tongue pierced 3 times.
All right. Well, I haven't, Cruz. Anyways, but yeah, Raw was phenomenal. And I mean, SmackDown was a solid show. I wouldn't say it was a great show, but I also, backstage sources are telling me that Bischoff won't take over until after Extreme Rules. And he's working hand in hand with Fox right now to get this product up to par.
They got to prepare because it's like, what, we're only just a couple months out before SmackDown moves to Fox.
And AEW goes to fucking TNT.
Woo, Vance, so much wrestling. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
October's going to be a fucking weird month, Cruz.
Oh God, you're right.
Can you believe that we're going to have another wrestling promotion on a major network with a billionaire backing them?
Yeah, honestly, AEW has been putting out some solid fucking pay-per-views. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple of things in each pay-per-view where you're just like, whatever. But overall, solid fucking pay-per-views, right?
I'm actually excited for Extreme Rules. I want to see how that goes, where they might either end every storyline to start fresh. So we're actually going to get closure on everything. Baron Corbin maybe gets fired. I don't know. But I'm really excited to see where this goes. How great would it be if Baron Corbin came out on Monday night, not dressed like he works at the fucking Olive Garden? And he's like a badass again, who doesn't talk and just beats up people.
That's amazing. But
side note, have you noticed how Sami Zayn has not been on TV since he mentioned AEW?
Dude, do you think that maybe he made a little boo-boo? Because I mean, not many people really talked
between
about
that and supporting the other side in the Saudi Arabian deal, I would say.
Oh my God.
Dude, he goes to fucking Saudi. They'll arrest him for war crimes.
Jesus Christ. Well, what I was getting ready to say about AEW is, their solid pay-per-views aside, it'll be very interesting to see what kind of televised shows they do put out. I don't have any doubts that they won't please, like, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to please us. You know what I mean? I feel like they're going to entertain us.
I think so.
A lot of people are talking shit. A lot of the WWE loyalists, as I like to call them, are very, let's see, just because they put out good pay-per-views, let's see what happens when they put out weekly shows. I mean, I don't know how that's supposed to mean that they can't or are not capable of doing that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I have high hopes. We'll see what happens. Pretty stoked because if anything, that just means more wrestling for us to watch on TV during the week. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you know what? As a fan, this is a great time. We get the G1 starting next week.
Ooh la la. Pretty exciting stuff.
Good wrestling coming up.
And you know what, Vance? Do you hear that fucking sound?
Is that the sound of the news?
Why? Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Cruz, we already kind of covered some news items. But let's see what else we have in the news in my handy dandy notebook laptop thing. Okay. Tony Khan has announced that they have 34 male wrestlers and 11 female wrestlers and 1 transgender wrestler. No, I'm just kidding. She must loop into the female. Listed on the roster as of Tuesday. And they are not looking for new talent. We are not going out and searching for talent currently. So I thought that was really interesting that, you keep hearing all these contracts are up and all this shit.
Right,
and even some people are believing that the reason they snatched up, WWE snatched up Bischoff and Heyman is because they thought they would go to AEW.
Okay. Yeah. That makes total fucking sense, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to see, some interesting stuff with AEW. Very different than the traditional, WWE, if you will. Also in the news, in WWE side of things, Maria Kanellis is actually pregnant. So she got that 5-year deal, got the money out of Vince, and then said, I'm having a baby. So That'll be interesting.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And you know that Heyman's going to turn that into an angle where it's like fucking Tommy Dreamer's fucking kid or something.
Oh my god. Spoiler alert.
So Dave
Plot twist.
Meltzer.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Dave Meltzer is reporting that WWE is moving away from the PG era because they want to be more controversial to win back the quote unquote, this is such a Vince McMahon term, teen younger audience. He thinks he's going to lose. What do you think, Cruz? You think he's going to lose the younger audience to AEW?
Well, you know what's interesting that you say that, Vance, because, you know, our good friend David LaGreca from Busted Open on Sirius XM 93, Fight Nation, he constantly talks about, and we've talked about this directly with him as well, how he has a younger daughter. I think she's 16. She's a teenager. He has a teenage daughter, and her friends don't watch WWE. They're more into the indie stuff. They're more into AEW. And he said that like a lot of the swag she wears is AEW and whatnot. So it's very interesting to hear that, actually, because maybe the young teens, they want something a little bit more, you know,
risque,
not PG, I mean, man. They don't want.
Let me say a question. PG. As let's say, Cruz, let's say you're 19 again. Oh God, maybe okay. Let's say you're a normal 19-year-old. Let's say you're a normal 19-year-old, right?
Ass.
What's more entertaining to you? Fucking crazy ass death matches and fucking flippy flip matches and like, I don't know, blood or pancakes thrown by your champion?
I'm going to go with the former.
Exactly.
If I was a normal 19-year-old person, I would definitely want to go for something not as hokey, not as cheesy, not as PG, you know, because at 19, you're a fucking adult. You know what I mean? You're, you're growing into an adult, rather. You know, you're late teens. It's your last.
You're still a virgin. You're still right.
I mean, when I was 19, anyway. But no, I mean, like, wouldn't you agree? What about you? Like, if you were a 19-year-old boy.
Yep. If I was a 19-year-old boy, I would definitely be more interested in AEW.
Exactly.
As a 34-year-old boy, I am very interested in AEW.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Okay. That's the one thing that everybody complains about with WWE, though, is it is very, very PG.
Yes.
And a lot of the shit that they put out is just beyond even PG, to the point of just cheesiness, where you're like, what the fuck? Why? You know what I mean?
That's true. That's totally true.
So I don't know. I feel like I totally understand where they're coming from if they're trying to keep the younger teen, or what was it that you just said? Younger teen audience? Or teen audience or whatever?
Teen younger audience was the exact thing, which is a little fucking weird.
Yeah, I know. That's fucking weird. Sounds so...
okay.
I don't know. Anyways.
Last bit of news, Cruz, and this is actually a pretty healthy rumor that I've heard from multiple sources.
Go on, I'm listening.
WWE is trying to get, for when they go to Fox, the president of the United States of America on the program. Donnie Trump, aka WWE Hall of Famer.
Listen, it ain't gonna happen. All right.
I mean, what the fuck?
It ain't gonna happen, bro. I don't care how close
I
Vince
think it might
is.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you why I think it might happen. His approval rating sucks. You're going into the fall. Who watches WWE? Would you say that it's the liberal Bernie Sanders crowd? Or would you say it's a little bit more towards the red crowd? Let's not forget, WWE has the same demographic as NASCAR. By the way, speaking of NASCAR, I tagged you in that fucking thing. CM Punk cutting a promo on NASCAR?
Okay, listen. He hates wrestling so much that he'll try everything in his power to fucking avoid it, including NASCAR, Vance.
Wow. Talk about knowing your audience.
What the fuck?
It's unreal. It's unreal.
What the fuck?
I still have hopes he's going to go to AEW.
I fucking miss him, Vance. Why can't he come back? Why can't
The
Tony
best
Khan
in the world.
Why can't Tony Khan show up to fucking to Chicago at AJ and CM's fucking house with a truckload, back it into the fucking driveway and be
That's
like,
it.
here's money.
Back up the Brinks. Here it comes.
Like, seriously. But there was rumors though. Weren't there rumors about CM Punk, like how he's been showing
apparently Tony Khan's been trying to get him, like he was the guy that he wanted since the beginning. So, I mean, if it hasn't happened yet, maybe it will happen. I mean, this is the world of sports entertainment, Cruz. Anything can happen.
It's true. I mean, you can't never say never. You know what I mean? Some
Never
people
say
say, some girls say, I'm never going to go back to porn. And then they show up when the minute they need money.
Now, Cruz, you really took this to a personal new level, didn't you? I'm talking about fake sports. You're talking about fake tits.
All I'm saying is never say never, because then,
But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the news for this week, Cruz.
So I would say that I was highly sports entertained this week, Vance. If you start with Fyter Fest, moving into this week's Monday and Tuesday, I was quite pleased.
I was very sports entertained. Very sports entertained. I'm very excited for the future.
I'm definitely excited for the future. And what do we have coming up? We have Extreme Rules coming up. That's the next WWE pay-per-view. We have the G1, and then we also have
Fight for the Fallen is next week as well.
Yep, so Fight for the Fallen. So
which is going to go up against fucking the Evolve 10th anniversary show on the network.
God damn.
Yeah. So a lot of fucking sports entertainment for us to watch.
There's a lot. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be good shit. It's going to be good shit.
It ain't good shit, Chris.
Well, Vance, I think this podcast has definitely gone over. Where can we find you online?
You can find me all over the interwebs if you type in Google, That Guy Vance.
And you can find me at Annie fucking Cruz on Twitter and at Annie Cruz on the gram. Tweet us your thoughts on what you thought about Fyter Fest if you watched it. How do you feel about the new and improved Monday Night Raw? I mean, SmackDown, we already confirmed that Bischoff hasn't taken it over yet. So, I would definitely say Raw was definitely better than SmackDown this week. But yeah, if you guys are listening right now, let us know your thoughts on sports entertainment that's happened this week. And until next week, guys, we'll see you later. This is Cruz the Crusher going over and out.
And this is the victorious Steve Vance saying, keep on winning.
Wow. That's a
you like that, Cruz? I came up with that in the bathroom. You got there?
That's fucking. Are you in the bathroom right now, Vance? I mean, I know there's no video for this podcast.
I mean, it's technically an outhouse, Cruz, in this area.
That's right, because you're in parts unknown in New Hampshire.
I gotta go. I think I hear a bear.
Thanks for listening to Going Over. Be sure to rate us 5 stars and follow us on Instagram at Going Over Podcast and on Twitter at Going Over Pod. Also, don't forget, we stream this podcast live every Thursday on our YouTube channel at goingovertv.com, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit goingoverpodcast.com for more information.